Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, we're going to start a how-to instructional series, but first, I want to introduce you to a few of my friends. We're on the San Juan Islands, just west of San Juan Island, and we've got a pod of orcas we're floating amongst right now. Engines all stopped. These guys, we've been watching them from a distance, and they have been cruising up next to us, so we'll see if we can get you some good footage. And we'll get rolling.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are waking up in Hunter Bay this morning. This is a small bay, great anchorage on the south side of Lopez Island. Why the San Juan Islands? Well, I grew up in a small town, semi-small town, Oak Harbor, Washington, on Whidbey Island. And so Whidbey Island is northwest of Seattle area, about 60 miles. It's a beautiful place. It's about a mile and a half wide average, 60 miles long. And so I grew up there. We grew up fishing and crabbing all over the San Juan Islands and around Puget Sound. So this is where I grew up, and we absolutely love it up here. My wife and I absolutely love being on the water. So this is a place we're vacationing this summer with our neighbors and just having an absolute wonderful time. So thought we'd throw some beautiful landscape at you. We're going to begin a how-to instructional series, and we're going to title this the San Juan instructional series, San Juan series rather. This is not an adventure channel. However, my wife and I have dreamed for years. We've put in place 10, 12 years ago the beginning of living aboard a trawler, a boat 40 to 45 feet long, which is similar to one we're on today, and running our business, managing our childcare centers from abroad and traveling. So this series where I'm going to start today is going to be based on sharing with you all the tools and strategies and in-depth instructional videos on how I use them, because managing your center wisely, efficiently is so critical. So this is going to be a series where I'll take 1 to 2 of our tools, our administrative strategies that we use, and I'm going to dive in. I'm going to break it apart and tell you how I manage it, how I organize it, tracking, everything that's involved that I've done over the years to make the management of our program efficient. I'll start each video with a small little snapshot of the places that we dream of waking up to on a regular basis. So some beautiful bays, beautiful harbors, just like this one here. And then we'll dive in deep into the different strategies that and tools how we've used and managed our program. So check out this beautiful bay. We're anchored here in this beautiful harbor. We're gonna wake up. We already woken up, kind of coffee time still. Right behind me, right back here, we've set some crab pots. We're gonna go back and pick those pots, see if we can have some Dungeness and red rock crabs sitting in there for us today. This is gonna be a fantastic, fun series, and really informative. And know this, these tools that we're talking about, the tools that I'm gonna dive into is what we use on a daily basis. All you need is 1 or 2 to really save you time and money and eliminate massive headaches in your business. So I'm going to go in depth in all of these and talk about how you can prepare for different events, whether it's COVID-19 situations, whether it's staffing, whether it's enrollment, all of these different things we're going to jump in hard to. So let's do that. Hey, welcome to the San Juan series instructional how-to. We're going to dive in today on how to use, manage, and why to properly manage your classroom enrollment. Who's coming, who's going, when. Here we go. All right, I'm going to jump right into, first of all, why it's so important to manage properly and anticipate all of your kiddos, when they're coming, which days, when they start, when they leave. One of the biggest complaints you might get, not a big one, but one of the needs that your staff have are, when is a kid coming, when are they leaving, They don't want to be surprised with the parent walking in with the child and saying, hey, this is Jerry's first day.
and you have that blank look in your face. So there's lots of great communication that you're going to get out of this by using this type of classroom roster system. So we're going to dive right in. This instructional video will demonstrate all of the reasons why this is so important. It'll speak for itself. So let me give you a lay of the land. In fact, if you ever want to get a lay of the land of our program, you can tour our center. If you go to grandjunctionkids.com, you'll be able to take a tour of our program. So this is a layout here of our Fruta school. We've got an office, kitchen. We've got a main hallway. We've got a 1-year-old classroom, a 2-year-old classroom, a 3, which we call our early preschool. We have a 4-year-old classroom, which is our preschool. And then we have a pre-kindergarten and school-age classroom as well. So it's important to understand that layout and that progression. 5 classrooms. Our Grand Junction facility, here's an example of that. Again, we have a full kitchen there. We have a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, a 3-year-old program in our early preschool, a preschool, which is typically our 4s, and then pre-kindergarten and school age. So we organize that here on our roster. Again, this is actually a duplication of our Fruta program. So we manage here our toddler program. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking at this roster and looking at all of these ones and going, whoa, crazy spreadsheet, my eyes are starting to cross. Do not panic. I'm going to break it down for you. There's so much functionality here. Yes, there's a tremendous amount of tracking, but just wait, just wait. Here's where we manage our Toddler 1 program, our Toddler 2 classroom, our early preschool, our preschool, and our pre-K, kindergarten, and school-age kiddos. All of these numbers are going to transpose over to here, and we're going to be able to know exactly when children are coming, how many children are in our facility at all times. This is also going to track for us. So much of this is automated. So it's going to track for us our capacity. This model, this school in this model is at 96.6% capacity. Wouldn't it be nice to actually have your finger on the pulse of your program at all times? You're going to be able to do that with this tool. This also tracks our self-pay or our private pay, and as well as our families that are on state child care assistance. So in this model, we have 76 kiddos who are on a self-pay and 17 that are taking advantage of child care assistance, or 18.3% of our kiddos are on child care assistance. It also tracks our free, reduced, and paid households. So we participate in our state food program. We have 25% that are either free or reduced, and 74% paid. It tracks our revenue per classroom, per day, per week. It tracks potential revenue as well as lost revenue. In this model, this center is losing $11,650 per week, or $3,100 a month, or $37,000 a year. So why would you be following me? Why would you be listening to anything I have to say? Because it's a model, but this is considering absolute maximum occupancy of a program. And that number down there is designed to motivate your enrollment specialist, whoever that is, it's you, your director, or whomever, to get on the phone, get on the computer, and continue to maximize every seat in your program every day. This is going to do so much more. You're going to be able to create a really nice roster that you can hand out to your staff every day, or every week, so they can see who's coming and which days. I'm going to get into all of that. All right. So let's start right that. Here's what your staff want to know. Your staff want to know, when are my kids coming and who's coming
and how many will I have? They, as you know, they will intimately be aware of what time Batman shows up or what time Blossom leaves. They know that Buttercup comes for breakfast every day and Buzz Lightyear comes about 9 o'clock. They know that Courage is really hit or miss. Your staff know the intimacy of the children's and parents' ebb and flow from their classroom. But this is a great way to have a classroom roster where they can anticipate this day in and day out. Because if there's a sub in there, they don't know the intimacy of Courage. And they don't know that Courage is a hit and miss, and sometimes you got to call mom and remind her that it's Courage's day to come to school. Have you had families like that? So you can throw this on a spreadsheet for your staff. However, this is completely automated. You don't have to manage this roster for your staff. I'll show you how. Also notes for your staff. Okay, SFF, same for fall. So they know that Blossom's schedule isn't changing for fall. Leaving for Holy Family. So Holy Family is a local school in our community. So they know that Buttercup's going to be leaving. They know that Buzz, same for fall. They know that Courage starts 7-9. In this case, Dexter, here's a note here that says, pick up Fridays, week of July 6th, looking to grab Tuesdays before school starts. This is where I communicate basic needs, basic scheduling, mostly scheduling, heads up for our staff so they're aware of what's going on. Okay, Pepe might be having a last day on August 20th. It's a great place to communicate that, and this gets printed out once a week for your staff. Okay? Let me walk through a couple other elements of this. We have birthdays for every child that we put in here. So Batman's birthday is July 31st of 16. Then we have formulas that help us and help you track their age. So this formula here, this crazy mess up here at the top, tells us that Batman is 49 months old, or he's 4 years and 1 month. Why is this important to your staff? It's important for your staff to be able to have that quick snapshot, I think, to know how old each child is in their class. It also is great for you as admin to be able to watch these ages, so that, because you're the one that's managing enrollment and you're managing children moving up from one classroom to the other. So let's say, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but there's a lot of basics here, and 99% of stuff that you're going to catch really easy. I'm going to suggest that if you're needing a few kids to move from preschool to pre-kindergarten, let's say it's the beginning of the school year or the beginning of the year or summer, I can look in here and easily see my kiddos that are 5 years old. I can see Buttercup, Dexter, Tiger again, are my 5-year-olds. This is important when you're considering ratios. 4-year-old ratio in Colorado is 12 kiddos to 1 staff member. A 5-year-old is 15 to 1. So when managing ratios, I want to move up my 5-year-olds to be able to help me maintain proper ratios and take advantage of higher ratios in older classrooms. So this is tracked for you automatically. So next month, Batman's number here will turn to 4.2. We use that same formula and technology on our waiting list. When you're bringing children into your program, you want to know what age they are, what classroom they're going to fit into, and you don't want to have to always count on your fingers or on the calendar by looking at their birthday how old they are. There's so many little gems hidden in this roster. All right, what else do we have? So this is a snapshot. It adds at the bottom of each day for your staff how many kiddos are coming, 19, 20, 19, 20, and 19 in this model. Here's another thing is that let's look at Courage here. We know that Courage now is scheduled for Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And so you can have your staff use this sheet here to keep roll every day and turn it in at the end of the week. If they write Courage's name on Tuesday, on a day that Courage is not scheduled for, what a great auditing tool to help you make sure that Courage was properly billed, that that household was billed for Tuesday. This is so important. And all of a sudden, Dexter shows up 5 days a week. And so they highlight Dexter on Monday, they write his name in on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and highlight him on Friday. It's a great snapshot attendance based on who was scheduled to be here and who actually showed up. And maybe that was your mistake. Maybe you had made arrangement with Dexter's parents that he's going to start full time, on the week of August 3rd. And you forgot to get him on the schedule, and that gets turned in at the end of the week, and you go, oh my gosh, I forgot. It's full-time week for Dexter, and so now you can go back and you can bill properly for this week. And again, manage your program better. What other ways can we use this? Again, even the color coding, just helping staff be able to distinguish between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Speaking of color, I print out these sheets for our staff in black and white. I see brand new programs, and all of their material for staff specifically is in color. Do your staff really need that? Do you really need to spend that extra $1,200 a year by printing everything off in color? $1,200? That's a lot of money. So we try to save wherever we can. Can you see this down here? It says week of July 27th. So when I print this off and it comes back, it automatically updates my week. Well, automatically. In my toddler program, I change one time what week it is. We're sitting in the week of August 3rd right now. So I'm going to update this to August 3rd. I make it red so I know that's my master update date. And then what happens, what's supposed to happen on this next classroom, I'm going to create a formula. I'm going to put equals whatever's in that cell. And now it'll automatically change that date to August 3rd. And it automatically changed it in my preschool classroom. And it automatically did so in my kindergarten school age classroom as well. So when your teachers turn this back in every week, you have that date. You have the, you know what week that was for. All right, what other gems are hidden right here? I guess we're ready to slide over to all of this. All right, so I know I've done one in depth on this model, but I'm going to go deeper on this one here. So let's look at how this is laid out. We've got the child's name in column D. We've got their birthday over here in AH in this column. Remember, it's going to calculate it into months. And for my purposes, I just want to look at years, 4.1, 4.7, and so forth. It duplicates that over here for my staff because they want to look at, remember, my staff don't want to look at this. You might not want to look at this yet, but I'll walk you through. They want to look at this, so I duplicate the age over here on the right for them. There's some other things. Let's focus on the lay of the land still. Here, I've got Monday. I've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay? Think of this. Every day, when you open up your door, we unlock our door at 6:30 in the morning. When we do that, within moments, 1 or 2 kids show up. By breakfast, we've got a lot more kids that show up. By 9 o'clock, we are getting full for what we're scheduled for that day. And then we go through our preschool or our day, our programming, and then we get into lunch, and then we afternoon, and then all of a sudden parents start picking up. And then some more parents pick up and our numbers drop off a little bit. And then, it's 5 o'clock and we've got a good handful of kids still, but a lot of kids have left, and we lock our doors at 6 and everybody's gone. So what this roster does is allow you to track your enrollment through from the very beginning of the day all the way to the end of the day. So think of it like that. And so each day is broken up into time segments. Now, the best way for you to understand this is think about a school day. Now, if you don't have a school age program, I have another roster that's a basic. This is our premium roster. We have a basic roster, and we use basic and premium just to understand in my belief, there's a premium value in this one when it comes to tracking. It doesn't reflect the cost of this roster. So think of a school day, and it'll help us understand the different segments. Let's say that we unlock our door at 6:30 in the morning. We have breakfast at 7:30. And any school agers that we have in our program, we're going to take them to school at 8:30. So they're with us in this 2-hour window of time in the morning. Includes breakfast and some programming. And then we take them to school at 8:30 and they're gone. So this first block of time here represents roughly, these numbers are rounded off, 6 to 9. This is the morning time, what we would consider before school. And then we have some kiddos that show up at 9 o'clock to noon for a morning preschool. That's all they come for. These are families, they don't need the child care element that we provide in addition to preschool. They just need preschool. So this is a 3-hour block between after my school agers are gone and before lunch. So from 9 to noon, I want to track how many kids are showing up, how many kids have left during this time period. And then we have lunch from 12 to 1. Remember, my preschool kiddos that come for just the morning, they don't eat lunch. So they're gone during this period of time. But we also partner with our local school district, and we'll transport some school district preschoolers to and from their 3-hour morning preschool. At our Fruita location, we're adjacent to an elementary school, so we just walk right through the fence and through the playground and drop off and pick up preschoolers. So we might have a preschooler that we only see after they complete their morning preschool at the local elementary school. So we grab them and bring them back, and they have lunch with us. I need to account for them. We have a time in the day that's 1 to 4, so after lunch and before our school agers come back at the end of the day. And then we have that time period from 4 to 6, which is when my school agers return. I've got to account for that as well. So we operate differently in the summer, as you do when school's not in session, if you have a school age program like we do, and most of our kiddos are with us a full day in the summer. In fact, we only enroll full days for the summer, whereas during the school year, this micromanaging is so much more important and critical in our program. So that should give you a little bit of lay of the land on this day, the 5 different time slots within our program. Real quick, I'll direct your attention over here to Friday. On Friday, we've broken up that 1 to 4 segment into 2 time slots. Why? Because we have lunch from 12 to 1, and then we have an early release in our district. So school lets out for all schools, elementary schools, at 2 o'clock. So we have to account for that. So we have a time frame from 1 to 2, and then 2 to 4. That's the unique time where I normally wouldn't have my school agers on this 2 to 4 period, and then 4 to 6. We may get into that a little bit later. All right. So let's look at a couple kiddos here. Blossom, it appears, shows up probably around breakfast and leaves maybe at 5 o'clock. So this might be a kiddo that's scheduled with us from 7 to 5. So I need to make sure I hold a place for her in each time slot of the day. Whereas Buzz Lightyear looks like he shows up somewhere between 9 and noon, probably 9 o'clock. And it looks like Buzz is here till, well, after 4 o'clock, because I'm obviously holding a time slot from 4 to 6. Now, I know Buzz intimately and the family, and Buzz has an older sibling that's, let's say, in 3rd grade. That is maybe why Buzz never shows up for breakfast, because the mom goes to drop off older sibling at the elementary school and then drops Buzz with us. So I can count on Buzz never showing up for breakfast. You know, when you enroll your families, you're going to ask them, hey, what time would we see Buzz in the morning, and what time would you be picking up? And you need to ask that question. And so then you schedule them accordingly. And, you know, maybe mom's got a meeting sometime in the morning once in a while, and so she drops off in the morning. But you're going to be able to rely on that parent's consistency maybe 90% of the time, right? So it's going to allow you to bank on the idea that Buzz won't be here for breakfast, and again, be able to calculate what time of the day Buzz will be here, again, accounting for how many children you have at each time of the day. Let's look at Dory. So it looks like Dory doesn't come for breakfast and isn't here after 4 o'clock. So Dory's scheduled from 9 to 4, and so I'm only going to hold a seat for her from 9 to 4. Here, Fred is here in the morning early, it looks like. He's here all day, but then he leaves before 4 o'clock. So this is how you're going to account for your kids that are not 6:30 in the morning until 6 at night kids. Okay? Squidward looks like he's here all day. All right. Let's take a look at Tiger. Tiger doesn't come on Mondays. Not holding a seat. Tiger's scheduled for Tuesday and Friday. On Tuesday, it looks like Tiger is here early and stays late. On Friday, Tiger doesn't show up till noon and leaves by 4 o'clock. Maybe Tiger has an older sibling at the school, and mom, because she works a short day on Fridays, picks up the sibling at 2 o'clock from school and Tiger at the same time. So I can then, as you saw, I deleted that space holding from 2 to 4. Because if that was the case, Tiger would not need a seat held between 2 and 4. Why is this important? Let me show you. It's important because, and you can look at a previous video where I talk about stacking chairs. Let's say that your full day rate is only $32 a day. Okay? If that's the case, and you have a child that arrives from 9 and out by 6, why wouldn't you consider putting another child in your program in the morning before school? Maybe this is a kindergartner, first, second, third grader. So we have a school age program. It's vital to our revenue. And here's exactly why. Instead of a $32 seat, that chair, that spot in that classroom is now able to generate $42. Let me give you another model. And this is why it's so critical to micromanage the enrollment in the program. And follow along, and I'll continue to show you how. This is one chair in a school-age classroom, one scenario, where we would have a school-ager come in the morning from 6:30 to 8:45 or 8:30, and then they're off to school. We would have then a preschooler that just comes from 8:45 to 11:45 for a 3-hour preschool program. Then we go and pick up a kindergartner at the elementary school. We pick them up at 11:45. They have lunch with us, and they're here with us for just the afternoon, and then they leave by 4 o'clock. And let's say that school-ager comes back from 4 to 6. So instead of earning just $32 a day, but in that one seat in your program, or even $42 a day by adding a school-ager in the morning, by micromanaging the different times that children may be in your program throughout the day, we've doubled our revenue, and this one seat, even though it's multicolored, could generate as much as $64 a day in your program. So instead of $32 a day or $42, we've doubled our revenue at $64 a day. Is that making sense? That is why it's so important, if you're going to commit to running a school-age program, to micromanage these different time periods in your day. All right, so there's my sales pitch. And when you run a school-age program, you're talking about transportation, those costs, staffing. I get it. But when you can double your revenue in a classroom, and I can show you in a revenue model that you can, and we'll do this in a later video in this How to San Juan series, how you can look at your actual enrollment compared to your staffing for that classroom, and get a pre-net revenue on a pre-net profit, if you will, on what your current enrollment is getting you minus your staffing for that classroom. And so much of this is automated. Everything with regarding to this program is going to be driven by these cells right here. Okay. All right, so let's continue to look at this model a little bit here some more. We talked about Tiger's enrollment on Tuesday and Friday, didn't we? Where we've got Dumbo here is not scheduled for Monday, but it looks like he's scheduled for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay. Squidward, Monday through Friday. All right, so you're getting this, right? We've got Tweety. Looks like Tweety's scheduled for Monday, Tuesday, not Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Let's go back here to Courage. Courage is scheduled for Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And then we've got Green on Tuesday and Wednesday. Why? Again, tracking, organization. If you're not organized with your roster, you're costing your program thousands, not hundreds, thousands of dollars. So we've got a key up here at the top. And the green represents a child or family that wants to add days. Okay? So let's say that that your program only has availability for Courage on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And this is a family that wants to add that Tuesday, Wednesday, but you can't because you're full. How do you know you're full? Because your numbers by the day are tracked down here at the bottom. Okay, so let's look down at the bottom real quick here. Here we can see that in the morning on Monday, you have 16 children scheduled to come for breakfast. And then you have 19 children scheduled from 9 through lunch through 4 o'clock. And then it looks like 3 children leave. So from 4 to 6, you only have 16 again. Okay. So how many seats do you have available in this is a preschool classroom. You have 1 seat available because you have to pick the high point of that day. In fact, let's say that Tweedledee adds Monday to her schedule, and now you're at 20. Your high number on Monday is 20. Okay. You do have some time in the morning before school, if you think about that school day, for breakfast, because you have 3 seats available, but you're full from 9 to 4, and then you have a few seats available in the afternoon. Okay, but this is a preschool classroom. All right, but it's important because your preschool classroom can work with your school-age classroom, and I'll show you later how you can do that. But in this case, on Tuesday, we see our high number is 20. And on Wednesday, the high number is 20. And that's why Courage isn't able to drop in here or attend on Tuesday and Wednesday. Because if you enroll Courage in there, what's going to happen? Now, your numbers are at 21 and 21, and you're over. So you're over your group size. Again, really important, because now not only can I manage my group size, my classroom enrollment by the day, I can manage it by the hour or period of the day. Okay, so this green allows me to keep an eye for Tuesday and Wednesday to open up. Okay, your job as an enrollment specialist, and if you're an employer, you're the boss, you're the director, that's your job, is to keep your classroom full. So think of yourself as that enrollment specialist. You've got to know at all times when a spot is going to open up. So looks like Dexter is also waiting for Tuesday. Okay, and it looks like Dexter was waiting for Friday, and then we had an opening, we had 19, so we filled that spot. So look at over here at the note, it says pick up Fridays week of July 6th. So once that Friday opened up, my staff knew that they were going to grab Fridays beginning the week of July 6th, looking to grab Tuesdays before school starts. So that's what this is about. So this Tuesday is hopefully that'll happen before school starts. All right. Remember Courage. Let's go back here and look at Courage. Do you remember Courage is scheduled for Monday, Thursday, and Friday? If I slide my bar over to the right, what is Courage listed here at? Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Courage is not, his name does not appear on my staff's classroom schedule for Tuesday and Thursday. Now, you could cut and paste Courage's name on there when you add that Wednesday and Thursday to a schedule when it opens up, but you don't have to. Lots of gems in here. This is automated. Let me show you. Let's say that a couple of our kiddos don't come on Tuesday and Thursday, and now you look at the bottom and your weekly enrollment, and we're just looking at the high number within this range here. Okay, so on Monday is 20, Tuesday is 18, Wednesday 18, Thursday 20, Friday 19. So now Courage can enroll, right? So let's add Courage here on the roster on Tuesday and Wednesday. And we slide back over. Courage's name is automatically copied over here onto the classroom roster for your teachers. You don't have to manage that. The secret formula in here, which is equals if parentheses count if parentheses this range. You understand what that means? What it means is if you put a 1 anywhere in this range on Tuesday for Courage, Courage's name is going to come up right here on Tuesday. So now Courage is listed Monday through Friday. If I delete these ones for Courage on Tuesday, Courage's name disappears over here. Again, there's your gem. It's automatically populated over there for you, so you don't have to micromanage that. All right. And once Courage is added, once you've added the ones in there and Courage is now full time, then I would encourage you to take that green back off. And when you do that, I would come over here for Courage and put adding Tuesdays and Wednesdays starting 8/17, let's say. Okay. Again, that's going to be a note for staff that they go, whoa, Courage is showing up on Tuesday and Wednesday, and they can look at their notes, which you print off weekly for them, and they have that information. Okay. All right. Let's see here. What else can we dive in on this? Let's pay attention to the key. Red represents dropping days. So let's say that Squidward's parents gave me notice. They gave me a 2-week notice. Okay. I'm immediately going to take that schedule for him and I'm going to paint it red so that I know that he's leaving. Remember, as an enrollment specialist, you want to keep your center, your program full. And then I'm going to put over here, I'm going to copy and paste because I'm all about copy and paste. August 14th is going to be Squidward's last day. And what does that do? On Monday, when I print this off for staff, Monday's the August 10th, they're going to see that note that his last day is August 10th. Okay, Squidward's name still appears over here. Okay, but they'll be able to pay attention to those notes. I just ask them to scan these notes every week to look for any new changes. Okay, when we get really close, I might take Squidward's placeholder and put a 0.1 in here. Why would I do this? Look at the bottom. Do you see how the numbers down here are dropping? I'm at 16. Now it drops to 15.1 Tuesday morning for breakfast. Why would I do this? Because as an enrollment specialist, I want to anticipate moves. I want to anticipate that he's leaving. Okay? So copy and paste. I'm going to paste them all the way across the side. I know that he's still there right now, but I need to be looking at, hey, I've got 19 kids beginning August 14th. I need to be getting on the waiting list and make sure I'm enrolling a new child. Okay? So that's a good little trick to make sure that you are anticipating when a child leaves. Don't wait until they leave before you fill a spot. Okay? I need to be getting on the phone now, because when I call Penelope's mom and say, hey, I've got a spot available August 17th in my preschool room Monday through Friday, and she says, wonderful, what is she going to say next? She might say, I do have to give my current child care provider 2 weeks notice. Right? I don't want that spot sitting vacant for 2 weeks if at all possible. So that's why I need to make Squidward's schedule red. I'm going to put the 0.1 in there, so I'm really paying attention when a spot's going to become available. I don't want to wait until August 14th to make that phone call. Okay? Let's say that I called and Peppy was enrolling to take Squidward's spot. Up here in the key it says yellow, has not paid for days yet. So I'm on the phone with Penelope, with Pep. We better just change this to Penelope. All right, with Penelope's mom, she says, yes, I'd like to start. So I get Penelope put on the schedule here, and I'm going to paint her schedule yellow right now, and I'm going to put starting August 17th. And I let Penelope's mom know, hey, I can pencil Penelope in, but in order to lock in that spot on our roster, we need to collect our registration plus the first 5 days tuition. So that's what we require to lock in that spot. Right now I can pencil it in. I can hold it for 24 hours for you. You might offer that. Or you might say, I've only have one spot left. Create scarcity. Okay? I've got one spot available for Penelope. When would you be able to come in and enroll? That's a different part of this series, which is strategies for enrollment. Really, I want to dive into just tracking here, but this yellow tells you that this is tentative. You don't want to put a kiddo on the roster and hold their spot Monday through Friday, or a couple of kiddos if they haven't paid. Because what if they never show up? That does happen. They might have got off the phone with you and another center called back that was closer to their home and they enrolled and forgot about you. Okay? So I always want to paint a child schedule yellow if they haven't paid yet. Once they've paid, well, I'm going to paint it back the original colors, and I do so by just copying another child's schedule and dropping it in there. Always being mindful, in this case, let's say Penelope's not coming for breakfast, of taking off those breakfast spots. Okay? All right. Purple, current parent communication. Let's say that one of my teachers comes and tells me, hey, Popeye's mom said that he's not going to be here anymore on Thursdays and Fridays, or Thursdays. Well, I might want to go. I don't have time right now because I'm walking out the door. I need to make sure I have a conversation with mom about Thursdays for Popeye, because I'm holding a spot right there, and sounds like they told the staff they're not coming anymore. I might have to fix ledgers, schedules, the roster, all of these kind of things. Or let's say you haven't seen Squidward on Mondays and Fridays for a couple weeks. Well, then I want to come up here and paint that purple again so I can make sure I have that conversation. Here's another example. Let's say this is all classroom management, okay? Let's say your schedule looks like this, and you've got 15 kiddos on Monday, 14 on Tuesday, 14 on Wednesday, 19 on Thursday, and 14 on Friday. You have a problem. This is a game of Tetris, okay? Let me demonstrate what Tetris looks like. This is Tetris, okay? And so you've got to get good at Tetris. This is Tetris level 10, all right? And so if you have this problem here in your roster because you've enrolled kiddos on random days, which we do, we just get really good at Tetris because parents have different schedules, then I might need to talk to my parents that are super part-time about changing their schedule with us. If families are with us just 1 or 2 days a week, they typically know that I'm going to ask you to be a little bit flexible on the days your child attends. And if my schedule starts to get lopsided, I can use that purple and go, hey, I need to catch these families and see if I can move them from, that Thursday and get them over to a Tuesday, move them over to Monday, some Friday, so I can build my roster back up and make it more even. So now I'm at 16, 16, 14, 17, 17, getting better. I'm leveling that back off. And so you might ask yourself, why would I do all this? Why all of that? It looks like a headache. Let me tell you something. There's not a lot of shift in the schedule for families. Most families are very consistent, and we charge our families based on their schedule, not based on attendance. So if Batman is scheduled for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're charging Monday and Friday every week, whether they attend or not. And so parents have set schedules, but if you can accommodate a set schedule for a family and you can master the art of Tetris, then those families are going to be so appreciative and so loyal to you. And then if you can track for those families and get them in on days that they need. So for Dexter, I only had, let's pretend, a Monday, Friday, but they needed Tuesday. When I call them 2 weeks later and say, hey, I've got Tuesday for you, I'm sure you know how appreciative they are. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. It must be crazy with all of your kids tracking all of these. I go, well, hey, it's part of my job. I'm glad I have one, and it's a great one. So look forward to having Dexter next Tuesday start with us, or pick up those Tuesdays. That tracking, that communication is key. You got to know who's coming, who's leaving, who you need to talk to, and who has not paid yet for their spot. Okay? I'm going to keep going. Here's some extra tracking on here. Let's look at our early preschool classroom for a minute. Okay? We've got yellow up here for kids that are not quite potty trained, but they're working on it. Okay? So if we have kids painted yellow, and we do on our roster, I know that they're working on potty training. If they're red, that tells me they're not potty trained at all. Let's see here. Here's a couple little ones that are 2. Let's paint these kiddos red. Okay? And let's say Tiger's red also. Those that are not painted, their names, they're potty trained. So our early preschool classroom, sometimes you can put ages up here that says 2.5 to 3.5. We call it our 3-year-old classroom. Sometimes during the year it gets a little bit older before kids move up. The significance of painting their names based on potty training is that our 3-year-old rate, our rate drops at 3 and potty trained. So for example, our 1-year-old rate is 44. Our 2-year-old rate drops by $4 to 40. Our 3-year-old rate drops to 36, but it drops when they're potty trained. So they have to be 3 years old and potty trained. So it allows us to keep an eye on that. So I know that when Blossom and Bubbles turn 3, if they're not potty trained yet, their rate stays the same. Why would I do that? Well, it's more work to change diapers. It incentivizes the parent a little bit, but really, well, and there's a lot of reasons. Tracking, that's what we do for tracking. Let me dial in some more tracking for you. When a child is ready to move up to the next classroom. And we have our classrooms colored, okay? So let's jump over to our toddler classroom. Our 1-year-old classroom is yellow. A lot of centers have their classrooms colored, or they have them a designated color, right? Our early preschool classroom is purple, our preschool classroom is green, and our school-age classroom is blue, okay? So when we've looked at our preschool classroom a lot, right? Let's say that I have some availability. Let's say Squidward. Squidward is unenrolling, okay? That gives me a full-time spot in my preschool classroom. Instead of enrolling a new child, okay, let's say that I want to move a child up. So in early preschool, let's say that the staff there, I've asked the staff, give me a list, rate your top 5 children on who is most ready to move up. 1 is the most ready to move up, then followed by 2, 3, 4, and the number 5 is your 5th choice on children ready to move up to the next room. Then I'm going to paint these kiddos, I'm going to paint them the color of the next room, and I'm going to paint their age the color, because I'm probably going to be looking at the oldest children to move up to the next room, right? But that's not always the case, because then you've got to consider developmentally, socially, if they're ready, and you have to figure out if their schedule fits. So let's say they give me these 3, 4, 5 children. And then if I want to, I can number them over here. On the right side, I could say number 1, ready to move up. Maybe they tell me that Dory is, and if I did this, it'd be easier. I slide my over here. So they tell me that Dory is number 2 to move up. Squidward is number 3, the number 4th child to move up, and Pepe is the number 5. Okay, now I can look to try to figure out which one's going to fit that schedule. Real quick, I can see that Pepe only shows up Thursday, and remember in preschool I've got a Monday through Friday spot opening up. So let's try to see if I have a Monday through Friday kiddo. Tweedledee, nope. Squidward, nope. Pepe, nope. Dory, yep. Dory's Monday through Friday. Batman is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So now I have a choice. I can either move Dory up, who's the number 2 choice, or I can move Batman up. If I move Batman up, it doesn't quite fill that spot. Let's look at the enrollment in preschool. I've got 19, 19, 18, 19, and 18. So I really don't want to increase my low day on Wednesday by sliding Batman. So in that case, I may choose to slide Dory up because it fits the roster better. Okay? That's a choice. The other option is I could move Batman up into preschool, especially if I have a couple of kiddos that I happen to see were waiting for Wednesdays. Okay? So, let's do that. I'm going to Control X for cut on Batman, and I have 2 Batmans. Doesn't everybody need 2 Batmans? And then I'm going to paste Batman over here. I've got some controls on here right now, so it's not letting me do a couple of those things, which is fine. So anyway, I can enroll Batman up in there. Let's just do it this way. I'm going to copy these cells. I'm going to drop Batman in here in the second line. Batman the second, and remember the Batman schedule, done, was Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And Batman's birthday, was the 13th of July. Okay. Let's say Batman's birthday was May 6th. Do you notice the age changes from 4.3 to 4.1? So those things automatically change just based on the birthday. All right, so I left you with, we talked about potty training, I talked about numbers, and I moved Batman up, so let's delete Batman from here. I asked my tech to help take out some controls, but she took out too many controls, so you'll be able to delete that line really easily. Let's look at Todd 2. Here is Simba. Simba's painted red. Why? Because Simba was up in Todd 1. And Simba was ready to go to Todd 2. Let's say that Bugs is ready to go up to Todd 2. I want to paint Bugs' birthday or his age red. Okay? And it looks like Tomcat is ready to go up to early preschool. Really important that you know and being able to anticipate moves in your schedule. Oh my gosh, guys, there is so much more in this roster, so much more. But I'm going to give it a wrap today, and I'm going to leave you with a snapshot of this. All of these classrooms that we've talked about here, they're adding their numbers at the bottom. Todd's early preschool, preschool, and school age. Gosh, there's so much more. All of those are generated over here to center totals. And again, everything I do in preschool is calculated over here and dropped here on this line for me. So I can see here how full my center is by classroom and then throughout the whole center. Okay, so the capacity of this center in this model is 75. And I can see that I'm now 96.7% full. That's important. I can see, we'll get into this in a different series here, projected gross revenue at current capacity. This model, this school, is projected gross revenue is $641,862. That is not, that's all automatically calculated. I'll get into that later. Let me show you, let me give you proof. Let's say that you say, oh, my staff are sick. I'm going to close my preschool classroom. And you send 20 kids out the door. What would that do to your center? It just dropped your center revenue to $470,000, $75,000. And $78.98. Show me a tool in a child care program that can do that. And that's calculating your private rates as well as considering your children on child care assistance. I'll show you how. Yeah, I told you there was a lot of hidden gems in here. Let me allude to something else. We'll get into this later. In our food program, we have to keep track of whether children eat breakfast, lunch, and afternoon snack. By simply maintaining the roster here, which we've talked about in this video, this creates for you a roster of all of your children, and you'll know whether they're scheduled for breakfast, lunch, or snack. And it's a great auditing tool. And this here, not this over on the right, but this area here is what prints out for your staff. I'll get into that later, but it's going to be fantastic. How about a student checklist? This allows you to keep track of your IEFs, your income eligibility forms. You can put a date in there for your kids. If it's expired, it automatically turns red. If it's ready to expire, it turns pink or rose. There's lots of other great tools in here. We're going to get to those in a different episode. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, like the video, tell me what you would like for us to add or what you do in your roster that you don't see here. And share that in the comments below. Make sure you join the, you check out our treasure chest. We'll have a video on how to access the treasure chest at the end of this video. Subscribe to our Directors Network and make sure that you follow us on Facebook and join our Directors Network group where we give you insider access to other tools and concepts and so forth. There's such a great networking that we're creating at Child Care Biz Consulting. So if you'd like to book a consultation, you can do that as well. Visit our website at Child Care Biz. What is our website? We'll put it in the description below. Hey, I want to wrap up. Thanks for following today. I hope you got some good tools. Follow this San Juan series. We're going to have some fun. Boy, we saw some beautiful scenery out in the Puget Sound. So thanks for watching. Have a marvelous day. Take this series piece by piece. It's a great instructional tool, and you can get access to this this classroom roster in the treasure chest. Check out our video to see how to get there. Have a marvelous day. Appreciate you. Take care.